This is the New American Media. Broadcasting to you, live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello everybody and welcome to the Unhappy Hour. I'm your host, Brian Engelman, here on the TNAM radio network here at the newamericanmedia.com. And yes, unfortunately, this is an unhappy hour kind of show. Unfortunately. That means the Cleveland Browns dropped another one last week versus the Lions as they gear up to play Green Bay Packers. They got a pretty decent team up there, don't they? Yeah, they do. But here's a good thing. If you're looking at it as a gambling man, or just somebody who, I don't know, always wants to see the glass half full. Look, the team's 3-3. You want to talk glass half full or half empty? There you have it. 6 games in, we're 3-3. Is it half full? Is it half empty? I don't know. Would more people be saying that the glass was half full with quarterback Brian Hoyer? Tell you what, he was looking real good. But hey, Brandon Weeden basically played, 90% of that primetime game on the NFL Network last, 2 Thursdays ago against the Buffalo Bills? He won that game. Yes, they had some special teams. Yes, there was an interception return for a touchdown. But he did win. Hey, in this game, all that counts are wins and losses, right? Get enough of those wins, you have a Super Bowl, and then you're done. You got a trophy forever. You can always say, I'm a Super Bowl champ. Real quick, I want to remind everybody, where are we at? Let me take a look here. I want everyone to consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm going to do a quick refresh here so I can make sure that I have the number. Oh, whoa! Okay, there we go. We're only one away from 500 subscribers. 500. YouTube.com/The New American Media. Check that one out. Subscribe to it. $4.99. That's pretty good. What is it? 123,828 views. That's cool. We do another show called Agree to Disagree. We do a music show called Unconventional. Whole bunch of stuff over there. Please swing by, check it out. If you think you know what we're all about, we're about even more than that. It's not just sports, it's not just politics. Whole bunch of stuff. Music, spirituality, finance, etc. And the other show, it's called Agree to Disagree, so we can have differing opinions on things. That's fine. We just want better conversation. So check that out. Follow us on Twitter. We're at American_media_. Search with spaces in between them, The New American Media, and like our page. Where are we at over there? Yeah, we put a lot of time into Twitter at first. That's why we got some pretty nice numbers over there. What do we have? 366. Okay. So I guess the next landmark, the next milestone we're going for would be 400. So check it out. Facebook, like the page, share some content, comment. That's what we like. So, back to the Browns. I mean, yeah, if Brian Hoyer were still the quarterback, would we be feeling better about this team? Yeah, I think so. I mean, and you see the difference. Because I'll tell you what, especially that second game against the Ravens, where Weeden hurt his thumb. That offensive line looked terrible. And then Brian Hoyer comes in after Jason Campbell gets a brief moment, and he's rocking it, throwing it to Jordan Cameron. I guess it's a little unfair to compare, when Josh Gordon is back, because that really changes the dynamics of that entire offense. Let's just be honest about that. And for everybody talking about trading Josh Gordon, who are you going to find in a second-round draft pick with that kind of size? Yes, I know he's got some personal problems. Yes, I know that he might be, if he screws up again, and this kid has screwed up a lot in his life. He keeps testing positive for substances, and he's on that next strike. He's gone for a year, so do you want to cut your losses and get somebody else? I mean, I don't know. It's an investment. Do you trust the kid? Trust is a huge deal. Huge deal. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, I have Trent Richardson on my fantasy football team, one of them. And I'll tell you what, for being a first-round pick, a mid-first-round pick, What a bust. Now, I think his best days are coming up with the Colts. I think he's going to start putting some stuff together, but he hasn't shown me anything this year to prove that that's actually going to happen. Maybe that's just me rooting for him, too. As a Browns fan and a fantasy football fan, I don't know. We'll see, but, is the glass half full or is it half empty? I mean, how could you totally write off the Browns season? Yeah, no, they're not playing perfect football. They're not a 6-0 team. They're not playing like that. But are they scrappy? At times, yes. Are they competitive? Yeah. And I call the times they're competitive the first half. We've led in every single game at halftime and found a way to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. Seriously. That's pretty miserable. Just gonna say it. It's pretty miserable. You got to be. Coffee is for closers. Coffee's for closers. Seal the deal. Finish it off. I mean, the Browns had that game in the bag against the Detroit Lions last week. Had it. And the wheels came off. They couldn't convert third downs. They couldn't get anything going. And I guess, just like Barack Obama after the 2010 midterm elections in Congress, he said we were shellacked. Well, shellacked is the term prior to what they're calling Brandon Whedon's interception, boneheaded. Just a very, it just kind of takes a mind of its own and it becomes its own verbiage and, pop culture runs with it. But it was boneheaded. Man, was that a underhanded interception toss right to the Lions. Are you kidding me? So here we are. Is the glass half full or half empty? Now, I'm going to be the first one to say, that I think there is something to the truth that Cleveland fans are so negative. It's almost like you bring it upon yourself. The more you focus on the negative, the more negative you get. And when I say you, I mean I'm obviously an Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeye fan. That's why I do a show called The Unhappy Hour. That's why it's titled The Unhappy Hour, because in my lifetime, 3 decades plus, I've never been able to celebrate a Cleveland Browns championship, okay? Nor an Indians championship. Nor nothing. Browns, Indians, Cavs, nothing. Okay, the Buckeyes, but that's 2.5 hours south of Cleveland. It's not really Cleveland. But I've not been able to celebrate a Cleveland championship in my lifetime. And that's pretty depressing. Because I'm not 6 years old. I mean, for a major city like Cleveland, who has 3 professional sports teams and have seen fantastic players come through. Kind of shocking. But, I say you Cleveland fans because I am trying to be more positive. I'm trying to get rid of the hate, that sporting, that feeling that you have. When I say Art Modell, quick, what do you think? All right, here's a quiz in the comments section whenever we post this. When I say Art Modell, what's the first thing that pops to your mind? Leave a comment. Put Art Modell equals. All right, let's try this again. When I say LeBron James. Quick, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? LeBron James equals. I'm trying to get rid of some of that hate. That vitriol, that venom, that anger, that disappointment. I guess I can hold on to some of that disappointment because, I mean, hell, you had Peyton Manning over at the Colts for how many years, how many MVPs? Jim Irsay just came out, owner of the Colts, and it's he made comments that he was disappointed that the Colts only have 1 NFL championship. Think about that. What would Cleveland fans get for 1 championship? 1. Indians, Browns, Cavs, etc. Don't matter. Here's a story. Denver Broncos coach John Fox defended quarterback Peyton Manning on Tuesday after the Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay said he was, quote, disappointed the Colts only won one Super Bowl with the former number one overall pick. Quote, I saw the comments, and to be honest with you, I thought it was a bit of a cheap shot, end quote. Fox said during an interview during Sirius XM radio, quote, to me, in my opinion, they were disappointing and inappropriate. Peyton would never say anything. He's too classy to do that. They sounded a little ungrateful and unappreciative to me for a guy who has set a standard, won a Super Bowl, won 4 MVP awards. Be thankful that that one Super Bowl ring because a lot of people don't have one. End quote. There are starving children in Africa. You better enjoy that meal. No, I mean, that's exactly what I thought when There are a lot of teams like Cleveland Browns that have never even won a Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns with Otto Graham, Jim Brown, won NFL championships. Never won a Super Bowl. Never even been to a Super Bowl, let alone lost one. So Jim Irsay says, Tom Brady never had consistent numbers, but he has 3 of these. Talking about the Super Bowl rings. Telling USA Today. Pittsburgh had 2, the Giants had 2, Baltimore had 2, and we had 1. That leaves you frustrated. You make the playoffs 11 times, and you're out in the first round 7 out of 11 times. You'd love to have the Star Wars numbers from Peyton and Marvin Harrison, and Reggie Wayne. Mostly, you love this ring. Let's see, Jim Irsay tweeting, those expressing negativity about the concept of building well-rounded teams around great quarterbacks to achieve championships have negative agendas. The noise doesn't bother me, to quote the most loved Indianapolis Colt of all time. I wanted to stay. Jim wanted me to stay. Circumstances forced our hand. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, what are you going to do? For the Cleveland Browns, what have you had? 19 quarterbacks since the Browns came back? I mean, come on. We couldn't find an Andrew Luck or a Peyton Manning. I don't know. Brian Hoyer was playing pretty decent. I mean, he still threw interceptions, but like people said, even his interceptions look better than Whedon's interceptions. And that boneheaded interception, jeez. But I'm telling you, I think there's something to positivity. I think there is something to thinking better. I need to write my damn book already. Put this out there so you guys can take a look. I want to talk with psychiatrists, psychologists, sports psychologists. I really think there is a dark storm cloud that hangs over the Cleveland Browns. I really do. The Indians and Cavs, basically northeastern Ohio for that matter. And I think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy at some point where they always find a way to lose this. I bet you they'll screw this up somehow. I heard it. I heard it growing up. Heard it from my friends. Heard it from the people in the bars. Heard it from my family. Guess what? Here we are. So I'm going to choose, to finish that thought, and here we are. Yes, those things do tend to happen because you're speaking it into existence. It's almost like you're asking for it. So I'm going to choose to think of the Browns as being 3-3 with the glass half full. They traded Trent Richardson. I don't really get it. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But, I mean, there are some decent things going on with the teams. They're getting a little healthier. Barkevius Mingo's back. Getting Jabal Sheard back. They're going up against a banged-up Green Bay Packers team. Clay Matthews is banged up. James Jones banged up. Randall Cobb banged up. I mean, this is a good chance to go try to get a win. The weather isn't brutal yet. You don't want to go to Lambeau in late December. You'd rather go in mid-October for sure. Go out and get that win. You know, but at some point you got to get that quarterback of the future. You know, and here's the thing too. Brandon Whedon just turned 30. You're gonna know who Brandon Whedon is. Just let him play his games. Whatever this season is, this is Brandon Whedon's season. Hoyer had his chance and he got injured. It's certainly not Jason Campbell's team for the future. Do we all agree on that? And this is the horse that we're riding. Dance with the girl. Wait, how does that go? Dance with the guy that brought you? I thought something about the girl, but you can't. It wouldn't be that. It would be backward. But either way, just see what Brandon Weeden has. You know, and it stinks that they didn't develop a running game. They're signing practice squad players, undrafted players, cut players. Oh, let's get Willis McGahee out of retirement. Fantastic. Not practicing because his knee's old. Greg Popovich with Tim Duncan, where he sits him out of game, did not play. Old. I love that. It's not sat out of the game because of a high ankle sprain. Sat out of the game for a separated shoulder. Sat out of the game, concussion. Nope. Tim Duncan sat out of the game. Old. I love it. But Willis McGahee, what else? What else can you say? That was such a frustrating game to watch. It really was. You know, and you could feel the momentum kind of starting to build. First place Browns. Bit of a winning streak. Leading at halftime. And sit down. And no thanks. And don't forget you're the Browns. Okay then. Alright. But hey, tomorrow is another day. This week is another week. Any given Sunday, any team can win. So I'm going to pick my Browns. Who am I picking? What's the score in this one going to be? I'm going to pick 34-30 Browns. 34-30. I think Whedon's going to impress some people. Big game for Jordan Cameron. Big game for Josh Gordon. And some defense and special teams magic. That's the formula. We've shown it this year. But leave your comments. Tell me, am I crazy? What would you predict the game to be? Tell me. Let me know. Leave your comments. Do that. Check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Follow us on Twitter at American_media_. Search The New American Media with spaces in between on Facebook and like our page. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The New American Media. Go Browns. Hell, go Buckeyes. Let's not forget we got an undefeated Buckeye team to root for. Everybody seems to like Alabama, Oregon, Clemson, Florida State. Now, Buckeyes aren't getting too much love. So they gotta win some convincing games. Maybe gotta root for the teams at the top to lose. A little bit of an upset. So what? I've seen it happen before. If you can just get into that championship game, you got a chance. You got a chance. So that's what I'm certainly pulling for. Better believe that. But it is still a good time to be a football fan. The Browns are one game out of first place, 500 record, 6 games in. It's not the end of the world that we lost to the Lions, but we have really got to put it together in a string. Really got to get some momentum going. And let's hope. I mean, Brandon Weeden, his first full game back last week, obviously made some boneheaded mistakes as the Browns got shellacked in the second half. Hey, no time like the present. Turn around. Go into Green Bay. Go into Lambeau Field. Take it down. Any given Sunday. I'm pulling for them. And do us a favor, if you know any other Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fans that haven't found us here at the New American Media yet, send them over, please. We appreciate that. A little word of mouth never hurt no one. A little word of mouth never hurt no one. That's a double negative. Is there a way I can make that a triple negative? Ain't no way that a double negative... Okay, I give up. That's hurting my brain. Try to talk dumb. Yeah, but send them over to the New American Media. Have them check it out, because last week we had a show. NBA sources say LeBron James is returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The organization is about 60% on board with having their plans set for that. And the internal sources, with our NBA scout, Zach Barris, Said word for word, about 99% certain. It's pretty much a done deal. Now we talk about the Buckeyes, talk about the Indians, talk about the Cavs, talk about the Browns, obviously. So, tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back on the other side. I want to discuss this story real quick. Well, I mean, there's two stories. LA Times is calling for the banning of professional football. NFL is despicable and should be banished from our site forever. I think I want to talk about that. And Grambling State players refuse to travel. That's a pretty cool story. I'm waiting to get some of the more specifics. Get some of the specific details on that one. So we're going to hit reset real quick. We're going to split the show up in pre-production or post-production rather. And we're going to talk about these two stories. LA Times calling for a banishment of football and Grambling State players refusing to travel. It's pretty cool. I mean, how bad did it have to get in that locker room? For the players refusing to play the game that they love? Really? All right, we'll talk about it. My name is Brian Engelman. Thanks for listening to The Unhappy Hour here at thenewamericanmedia.com.
You are listening to The New American Media.